용기 지어내
Quote magic. Leave the body like a corpse. Leave it as if ownerless. Leave the mind like the sky, like a candle flame unmoved by wind. Leave it in non-conceptual luminosity, like the ocean unmoved by wind. Leave it in sparkling, pure clarity. So meditation is like drinking water when we are thirsty. That's Suzuki Roshi's saying. Okay, so we're gonna practice Chod today. Just before we get started, it's always important to set the motivation, as you all know. So we are coming into a difficult time, as we all know, difficult, challenging, this facing the magnitude of suffering, going through many levels, like environmentally and socially, socio-economically, and of course, interpersonally and personal level. Challenging time we are facing, right? Then when we see that suffering, today I was driving and looking at all these homeless people or some people who have difficulty, having a way more difficult facing the suffering. And then our heart breaks, no? When we feel, natural compassion rises. Then feels like, oh, what to do about it, Can I do anything about it? Even I gave $1, but so what, And then as a Chod practitioner, we come toward ourselves, right? We are encouraged to generate compassion toward ourselves. Although in Tibetan, there is no term called self-compassion. There's no such a term for that, or the self-loathing or self-loving. But the definition of the self-compassion is renunciation. This aspiration to be free, completely free from this suffering. First of all, hedonic suffering, whatever faces external sufferings based on these material things, and also aging and so forth. Those are called hedonic suffering. And then we told ourselves. So first of all, as a Chod practitioner, we have to ask, do we really have a compassion toward ourselves? Genuine compassion. It's not like a pity. Self-compassion is a determination to be free, very strong aspiration. Like I often talk about jumping off the cliff, so to speak. Willingly choose the different paradigm. We're not gonna sleepwalk anymore. We want to be free. Then of course, when we make it bigger, that's a starting point, no? We have to know what the suffering is. We really have to look at our own suffering, right, in that sense. Then that's become a springboard to generate I'm sick of this. I'm done with this. Unawakened sleepwalking. Then we choose a different path, which was laid out already by Buddha, because he tread himself that path for us. So now we are coming into this so-called renunciation. That's the basis of Chod practice and any kind of Dharma practice, don't you think? So we have to ask ourselves before we do any kind of Chod practice or Vajrayana practice, do we really have a self-compassion? Do we really have a renunciation? Am I still clinging on to this unawakened life, which never worked, and still have an expectation, still have a hope for making this unawakened life better, or something like that? Then when we really feel into our own suffering, own struggle, own darkness, instead of looking at the darkness in the world, actually when we look at the darkness in the world, then that's a reminder to look at our own darkness within ourselves. When we do that, then that's the beginning of your practice, no? We go into the channel ground by looking at our own shadow, so to speak. Without understanding one's own suffering and the shadow and channel ground, then this genuine compassion and a genuine this altruistic motivation will not arise. Try to be empathetic or the compassionate to others, but that's have to really come from the understanding of one's own suffering. I think that's my understanding and also my experience. So that's important. So the next one is bodhicitta, right? Bodhicitta is this amazing supreme heart, fully, completely open, no blocking, for the sake of free. I am the one who free all these beings from suffering. And so in order to do that, I need to wake up myself. Then I will guide all beings to the same state, same shore, other side of the river, so to speak. That's sort of motivation we need. That's second bodhicitta, right? Then, of course, from the perspective of waking up, fruits, or the goal, point of view, then everything is a play, no? Illusionary play based on there's no self-existence, any bit of it. It's a luminous, clear, empty play. So nothing to cling on to. So those three things are kind of important: renunciation, bodhicitta, and emptiness. So on the basis of those three things and understanding, then your practice will start. Illusionary practice for the sake of all illusionary beings. Okay, so we should start now.